So we have some surprisingly positive news coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. It turns out a judge has ruled that migrant children who have been held are going to be released, and they're going to be released soon. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. And of course, as always, I'm your humble host, Niko House. So we have some surprisingly positive news, like I said, coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic. A judge has just ruled that the migrant children who have been kept here basically in limbo in the detention centers in a couple of states have to be released now. Let's go ahead and check out this article. It says that the U.S. government must release migrant children held in the country's 3 family detention centers by mid-July due to the coronavirus pandemic, a federal judge ruled on Friday. The ruling is part of an ongoing effort to release immigrants held in detention who are particularly susceptible to the coronavirus, given the confined settings at facilities and the potential for spread. In her order, Judge Dolly M.G. of U.S. District Court for the Central District of California called for the swift removal of migrant children who are at one of the 3 family detention centers, which are run by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and located in Texas and Pennsylvania specifically. The children must be released with their parents or to available, suitable sponsors or other available COVID-free, non-congregate settings with the consent of their parents or guardians, Judge G said. As of June 8th, there were 124 children in ICE custody, according to the ruling. The ruling, which calls for children to be let go by July 17th, applies to children who have resided at the 3 facilities for more than 20 days. The efforts, G wrote, must be made with deliberate speed. As of Friday afternoon, there are around 8,858 detainees in ICE custody who have been tested for coronavirus, and there are 751 confirmed cases in custody, according to the agency's statistics. And U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is currently reviewing the most recent order issued by the United States District Court for Central District of California yesterday evening, in which the judge mandated the federal government release migrant children by mid-July, according to the ICE spokesperson. So, like I said, this is actually some surprisingly good news. It's not really all that surprising that it's coming out of the U.S. federal court in California. Now, as much as I would like to see every ICE detainee, non-violent detainee, I should say, because maybe there are a few in there that are committed a violent act and that's why they're there. But for the most part, most of them are non-violent. I would like to see all of them gone, but especially the children. And I'm going to explain to you why this is such a great news, because if you understand the real reason that many of these children are put in these detention centers, which is effectively undocumented immigration limbo, then you would be disgusted that they were there to begin with. Many of you know that I was fortunate enough to travel alongside Tulsi Gabbard to the Homestead Detention Center, where she actually confronted or tried to confront the leadership within the detention center, tried to go inside the detention center to figure out what these conditions were, and she was turned away, and they tried to make her request special permission from Congress in order to gain entry, which, by the way, isn't actually a thing. It even said, which she had verified before she tried to go in, that basically state representatives and senators and U.S. legislators can gain access in the detention center whenever they need to. However, there was a special regulation put in place that they have to request even more special access before they are required to be given entry. So even though it's not true, it just kind of shines a light on just how corrupt this process can be. And the reason why Tulsi Gabbard was trying to request access, because you could see little kids walking around in orange hats in uniform, right? They're walking in lines we found out that the brothers and sisters were being kept away from each other. We found out that they were being split into age groups. We found out that they were having little to no contact with their parents or guardians. And what we found out, which is even more disgusting, is the real reason as to why these detention centers have been put in place to begin with. Much like private prisons, everybody's life, especially if you are a person of color, comes with a price. And for these kids in the Homestead Detention Center, which is out here in Miami, South Florida, these kids were making private entities $277 per day per child. And the reason that many of these children ended up in the private detention centers isn't because they weren't with a guardian. In fact, they were with guardians. It's just that maybe their parents had been killed in a drug war. Maybe their parent felt like it would be easier to send them with an aunt, an uncle, a grandmother. If you were not with your mom and or your dad, the way that they set the laws up is such that you can take the kid even if the parent has some type of legal status or the guardian has some type of legal status. So as long as if this is your aunt that is bringing you across the border when ICE catches you, yeah, she might have a worker's visa. She'll probably get fined. She'll be kept for a little bit within ICE to ensure that they can verify her legal status. She'll probably have to go to court, but she'll be able to contact her lawyer and go through the due process in order to get that situation taken care of. But if you are a child with that aunt or uncle, then you will be held damn near indefinitely. There is almost zero way for you to contact the outside. It's extremely difficult for the guardians to contact them on the inside. And make no mistake about it, this process is convoluted on purpose because of what I just said. In Homestead specifically, I can't speak for every detention center, but I know in Homestead specifically, and I was told that it's pretty much uniform as far as the relative price per child, but it was $277 per day per child. So the whole reason these kids are being kept within these, the confines of these walls, these detention centers, these tents, literally tents. Mind you, this is Miami, people. The other day I looked at the weather. It said it was 82 degrees outside, but it felt like 99. People, just as a brief aside, if it feels like 99 degrees outside, then it's 99 damn degrees outside. It ain't no 82. That's all I'm saying. But that's a different discussion for a different day. But my point is, that is how hot it is. That is how different. I'm sure they're having to walk around in masks all day long. Imagine trying to social distance in a detention center. I can't even walk from my house down the street from CVS in a mask because I have asthma without feeling like I'm going to die. When I'm standing in line with my mask on, I feel like I'm going to die because it's just difficult. So imagine being a kid with asthma where you have to wear this mask all day in 96, 97, 98 degree weather with humidity unlike many of you have ever experienced. So it's weird how some blessings can come out of a bad situation when you least expect it. And I felt like because of all the negativity we've been experiencing, I feel like there have been so many people just kind of down in the dumps. You know, unfortunately, probably rightfully so. It's well warranted to be a little bit down right now. Things do look a bit bleak. But for these children, many of them are finally about to get their lives back. And because of the high rate of recovery for children when it comes to the coronavirus, they're going to go through this issue. They're going to get over it. We're going to speak it into fruition. They're going to get over it, you know. But this coronavirus, this COVID-19 that they may be experiencing, pales in comparison to what they've been experiencing for the last few years, for the last few months, you know, depending on how long these children have been in this detention center. They'll be reunited with their siblings. They'll be reunited with their family. And hopefully, you know, they're going to have to deal with what they deal with being South American, Central American immigrants. But I promise you, it's much, much better than what they've been going through. So shout out to that judge that made this happen. Hopefully, ICE works with them. Hopefully, they don't try to pull the wool over our eyes. And if I know the judge said they need to be out by July 17th, I'm hoping that it's sooner than July 17th. And then, of course, we also need to turn our attention to the undocumented people being detained without due process amid this coronavirus still. And we need to request that they be released. Because let's be clear, if we can move Harvey Weinstein because of COVID-19 to protect him, if we can move other prisoners, if we can release nonviolent offenders in our private prisons, there's absolutely no reason that we can not release nonviolent undocumented citizens who haven't done anything wrong but try to escape the countries that we ravaged for their own protection and their own livelihood. So I'd like to know what your thoughts are about this. Like this video, share this video, leave a comment below. But more than anything else, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, find your balance. Peace. If you like that segment of Mi Casa Su Casa, don't forget to like the video and smash that subscribe button. Want access to members only live streams, behind the scenes footage, and other premium content? Well, you can endorse us on Rockfin Premium, become a patron through Patreon, or you can sign up for the MCSC Premium membership through YouTube. All the links are in the description below. But hey, more than anything else, always remember,
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Find your balance. Find your balance.
Always remember, more than anything else, find your balance.
peace.